Welcome back, everyone. Today is Tuesday. Tuesday is my favorite day because I love crafts. And as you guys saw last week, I love glitter. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a fruit card that you can share with a friend or someone in your family. And I think we have another craft plan, don't we?
I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, we're making thumbprint pineapples. Is that right?
We are,
That's
yeah.
exactly right. And guess who's going to do it?
Me?
You.
Awesome. I can't wait to show you guys and to see everything that you guys make.
Me too. Let's get started.
I'm super excited for our next craft. We're gonna be making pineapples using just our hands and maybe a paintbrush. For this craft, you're gonna need paper plate, some yellow paint, some green paint, a little bit of brown paint, and just a piece of paper. Let's jump right into it. When we get started, let's make sure we're working on a surface that can either A, get paint on it, or if we're working on a surface that needs to be protected, we need to make sure that we put something underneath our table, our plate, and our paper. The first thing we're going to do is add some yellow to our plate. The next thing we're going to do is dip our thumb in the paint and start putting some thumbprints on the page. The thumbprints are going to be the fruit part of the pineapple. So go ahead and add as many of these as you want to make a pineapple as big as you want. Because my hand fills so much of the page, I've decided to make my pineapple a little bit smaller, but you guys can go as big as you want. You'll see why I did that in a minute. The next thing we're gonna do is take some green paint, and after we've wiped off the yellow as much as possible, add some green paint to our hand. Give it a shake. So you're gonna rub the paint in your palm as much as you can. Make sure it's all evenly there. And this is gonna be the leaf part of our pineapple. Ready? Maybe I'm gonna give it another print. We gotta make sure it's all over all of our fingers evenly so that we don't have empty spaces like this. So we're gonna rub it in everywhere. Make sure we have lots of paper towel handy before we start. Press down, make sure our fingers touch it everywhere. And there it is. To add a little bit of texture, once we've washed our hands, we're going to add some brown to this. So I'll be right back. Now that we've washed our hands, we're gonna add a little bit of brown to our plate. Now, if you guys have seen a pineapple, you know that they're not all perfectly yellow. They have lots of those spikes on the sides, some green parts. So what we're gonna do is take a thin paintbrush, dip it in like that, and then put it on the pineapple and lay it down to make a long, well, kind of like that. Maybe press a little bit more gently. Nice. And so we're gonna add a bunch of those. And then after, maybe some green. Now that we've done that, we're gonna add some green to our plate. Just a little bit. Now don't worry if you get a little bit of brown in your green paint. because it's not perfectly green or perfectly brown. Sometimes it's a little bit of both on our pineapples, right? And we can just add some lines around where our thumbprints are. You guys know how sometimes the pineapple is a little greener on the outside of those thumbprint things. I'm not exactly sure what they're called, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe mix some green and brown together. Let's get a little bit of different color. Just like that. Well, I hope you guys like my pineapple. I cannot wait to see some of your creations. Bye for now, guys. See you on Wednesday.
Thanks, Jared. I love that pineapple craft. That was super cool. Friends, I have another craft for you today. For my craft, you're going to need some scissors, some crayons. You can also use markers or pencil crayons. Whatever you have is fine. Some plain white paper, glue, and construction paper. Today, I'm going to be using white, red, black, and green. As always, please make sure you cover your work surface to protect it. Once you've gathered all your supplies, come join me at the table. We're going to be making a card for someone special in your life. So the first thing we're going to do is take your plain white paper and fold it in half. With the long edge at the top, we're going to join the two short edges like this. We're going to line up the corners on each side and fold it down. When you're done, you should have something that looks like this. Put that aside. We're going to come back to it in a minute. The next part is we're going to make an apple. We're actually going to make two apples. So once again, we're going to fold it in half, our construction paper. We're going to start with our red, with the long edge at the top, and the short sides together, corner to corner, just like this, and then fold it in half. This makes it just a little bit easier to do our next step. Next, we're going to draw an apple shape. So you're going to need one of your crayons, and I'm going to show you really quickly on a plain white piece of paper. So we're going to make a wavy line. First, we're going to have a bump, and then a little dip, and then another bump. So it looks something like this. You're going to continue down, and you're going to do the same thing at the bottom, but you're going to get more narrow as we go down. So it goes this way, more narrow, another bump, and join that up. So you should have something that looks like this. Once you play with that a little bit, or maybe you might need an adult to help you, you can go ahead and do it on your red paper. So here, all right, so a bump, a little bump, like this, come around, make another little bump, and back around to the top. You should have an apple shape like that. The next thing we're going to do is cut it out. Okay. I'm almost done cutting out my apple shape here. And the reason that we the reason that we folded our red paper in half was so that we would have two identical apple shapes. You're going to take these and put them aside with your white paper. Now, the next thing you're going to do is take one of your pieces of white construction paper, one of your apple shapes, and put it down on the page. Then you're going to take your crayon, your pencil, whatever you have, and trace your apple onto the white paper. All the way down, all the way around. Once you have that done, you're going to draw another shape inside. You need a similar shape, just a little bit smaller. Now this one's a little bit tricky. So if you're having a hard time with this, ask an adult or an older sibling to help you. Once you're done that, it should look something like this. Now you're ready to cut this out. So you're going to cut on the inside line. Once you're done cutting it out, you'll have something that looks like this. And now we're ready for our next steps. We're almost done. Now we need to do a stem and a leaf. So I'm just going to draw a leaf shape. And it just looks something like this. You're going to have one line that goes this way, and one line that goes that way, kind of like an eye shape. Finally, I'm going to draw a stem. Now, if you're using black construction paper and you have a white crayon or a white pencil crayon, this will be really helpful. Whoops, I said white and I grabbed green. Let's try that again. There we go. All right, so we're going to draw a stem shape. And this is a very narrow shape. It looks just like this. When you're done drawing those shapes, cut them out, and I'll show you how to put it all together. All right, we are ready to put it all together. So you're going to need both of your apple shapes, your white apple, your stem, your leaf, and a brown crayon. The first thing we're going to do is draw some seeds on our apple, and these are just little diagonal lines that go like this, and you just want to keep them nice and small. When you're done, take one of your apple shapes, put some glue on it, and smoosh it down on your paper. The next thing you're going to do is take an apple shape, this apple shape, and you're going to fold it in half. Just like that. Take your glue and put some glue right along that fold. This part might get a little bit messy, so you may want to ask an adult for help. Take it and glue it right down. All right, the next thing you're going to do, take that white piece, put some glue all over it, and put that right down in the middle so it looks like we've cut our apple in half. And then you can just gently lift that to keep that 3D shape. The last thing we're going to do is glue down our stem. And you can fold your leaf to give it a 3D effect as well. Put some glue on it. There we go. And stick that down. And you're all done. Then you can open up your card and write a lovely message to your loved one. I'm going to say, "Dear Kathleen," that's my daughter. "You are the apple of my eye. I love you." That's a fancy way of saying that Kathleen is really, really special to me. All right, friends, we're all done. And look at this super cool, amazing card. I hope that you had as much fun making this as I did. That's it for our time together today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.